Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me in my studies today. I read a book a week and externalize my studies by sharing vocal readings of the passages that are most prominent to me. Today I'm reading from Sri Ramana Maharshi's Be As You Are. Enjoy. Page 73. When going after other things that are alien to us is so easy, how can it be difficult for one to go to one's own self? You talk of where to begin? There's no beginning and no end. You are yourself in the beginning and the end. As the self is not outside but inside you, you are asked to dive within instead of going without. What can be more easy than going to yourself? But the fact remains that to some this method will seem difficult and will not appeal. That is why so many different methods have been taught. Sleep reveals that you exist even without a body. We identify the I with a body. We regard the self as having a body and as having limits, and hence all our trouble. All that we have to do is to give up identifying the self with the body, with forms and limits. And then we shall know ourselves as the self that we always are. Page 75. Pure consciousness is indivisible. It is without parts. It has no form and shape, no within and without. There's no right or left for it. Pure consciousness, which is the heart, includes all, and nothing is outside or apart from it. That is the ultimate truth. The following statement on page 79 is by David Godman, the editor of this book, in introduction to the chapter on surrender. When all the outgoing tendencies of the mind have been dissolved in the repeated experiences of being, the self destroys the vestigial I thought so completely that it never rises again. This final destruction of the I takes place only if the self-surrender has been completely motiveless. If it is done with a desire for grace or self-realization, it can never be more than partial surrender, a business transaction in which the I thought makes an effort in the expectation of receiving a reward. Page 81, we're moving into the heart of the chapter on surrender, into the question and answer form with Sri Ramana Maharshi. Agitation of mind is the cause of desire, the sense of doership and personality. If that is stopped, there is quiet. There, knowing means being. Page 82, it is enough that one surrenders oneself. Surrender is to give oneself up to the original cause of one's being. Do not delude yourself by imagining such a source to be some God outside you. Your source is within yourself. Give yourself up to it. That means that you should seek the source and merge in it. Page 83. One must take things as they come in accordance with one's traditions, but one must be free from the feeling that one is doing them oneself. The feeling that I am doing it is the bondage. It is therefore necessary to consider and find out the method whereby such a feeling can be overcome. Page 84. We walk on this ground. While doing so, do we consider at every step whether we should raise one leg after the other or stop at some stage? Isn't the walking done automatically? The same is the case with inhaling and exhaling. No special effort is made to inhale or exhale. The same is the case with this life also. Page 85. Only if one knows the truth of love, which is the real nature of self, will the strong entangled knot of life be untied. Only if one attains the height of love will liberation be attained. Such is the heart of all religions. The experience of self is only love, which is seeing only love, hearing only love, feeling only love, tasting only love, and smelling only love, which is bliss. We're moving into part 3, the Guru, and here on page 90 is a statement from the editor of this book, David Godman. Although Sri Ramana taught that a guru is indispensable for those seeking self-realization, he also pointed out that the guru has no power to bring about realization in those who are not energetically seeking it. If the individual seeker makes a serious attempt to discover the self, then the grace and power of the guru will automatically start to flow. If no such attempt is made, the guru is helpless. And on page 91, we move into the question and answer form with Sri Ramana Maharshi. The master is within. Meditation is meant to remove the ignorant idea that he is only outside. If he is a stranger whom you await, he is bound to disappear also. What is the use of a transient being like that? But so long as you think you are separate or that you are the body, an external master is also necessary, and he will appear to have a body. When the wrong identification of oneself with the body ceases, the master will be found to be none other than the self. Page 93. Liberation is not anywhere outside you. It is only within. If a man is anxious for deliverance, the internal guru pulls him in, and the external guru pushes him into the self. This is the grace of the guru. Page 94. First, a man prays to God to fulfill his desires. A time comes when he will no more pray for the fulfillment of material desires, but for God himself. God then appears to him in some form or other, human or non-human, to guide him to himself, in answer to his prayer and according to his needs. The guru does not bring about self-realization. He simply removes the obstacles to it. The self is always realized. Page 96. So long as the sense of duality persists in you, you seek a guru thinking that he is different from you. Page 97. The fact is that you are not the body. The self does not move. The world moves in it. You are only what you are. There's no change in you. So then, even after what looks like departure from here, you are here and there and everywhere. Page 98. There is a state beyond our efforts or effortlessness. Until it is realized, effort is necessary. After tasting such bliss, even once, one will repeatedly try to regain it. Having once experienced the bliss of peace, no one wants to be out of it or to engage in any other activity. Page 99. You are neck deep in water and yet cry for water. It is as good as saying that one neck deep in water feels thirsty, or that a fish in water feels thirsty, or that water feels thirsty. Grace is the beginning, middle, and end. Grace is the self. Because of the false identification of the self with the body, the guru is considered to be a body. But from the guru's outlook, the guru is only the self. The self is one only, and the guru tells you that the self alone is. Is not then the self your guru? Where else will grace come from? It is from the self alone. Manifestation of the self is a manifestation of grace, and vice versa. All these doubts arise because of the wrong outlook and consequent expectation of things external to oneself. Nothing is external to the self. I think that passage was a lovely place to conclude for the day. In the next session of vocal readings, we'll begin with silence and satsanga.